This video shares a heartfelt reflection on the transformation of Barnes Park, highlighting its journey from decline to a vibrant community space once again. The video explains the purpose behind the 5-year City Park upgrade, which began with the 2006 bid to the Heritage Lottery Fund and supported by the Friends of Barnes Park Group. The Heritage Lottery Fund and Sunderland City Council together provided the necessary £3.5 million finance, so exactly 100 years after its opening, Barnes Park was ceremoniously closed, using the very same golden key which had been used to open it in 1909, and work began to give the park a bright new face to present to Sunderland. So it was that instead of a magical visitation by a fairy godmother, this modern-day Cinderella park won the lottery instead. The effect was just as magical as the park was transformed from the mundane into the magnificent. As the gates clanged shut for the very last time, so the bulldozer engines roared into action, but their work was quickly cut short by the worst winter in 30 years. Nevertheless, the contractors, Brambledown, pressed on doggedly to meet the spring completion of the project's first phase. Earth is shifted, trees felled, new railings installed, a new contour was created. The old gravel tennis courts were quickly laid out as a sensory garden with flower beds, novel cultures, serpentine paths, and a wonderful water fountain feature which meanders down to a circular pond. The playing field was regrassed in an adventure playground for older children constructed next to the car park. A highly talented tree sculptor has created amazing features, including a dragonfly totem pole, a magnificent seat richly carved with weird and wonderful fictional creatures, and some scary tree faces in hidden corners of an extensive stumpery. The children's adventure play area quickly took shape near the coachhouse cafe, and a new toilet block was constructed. The area is now filled with adventure equipment that is bound to soak up the energy of the city's children. The park's main entrance on Durham Road had its ornamental gates and pillars removed for replacements to be made off-site at a wrought iron foundry in North Yorkshire. The old flower beds were replaced by attractive flagging, creating an even grander entrance than its predecessor. Up at the park's northwest corner, a new car park and entrance has been created to serve the bowling fraternity, and a small depot built to service the park. The car park eases difficult roadside parking on Ettrick Grove, which had long been a considerable traffic hazard. As the public began to use and enjoy the Phase 1 facilities, Brambledown pressed ahead with the bigger Phase 2 operation. Work on curbing the paths went ahead, and the site of the old depot was cleared and a large picnic area was created, featuring a huge wooden apple seating enclosure. An impressive grand staircase was constructed on the north side, leading visitors up from the bandstand to the new grassed leisure area. The Friends of Barnes Park were given regular progress tours of the second phase work, and it quickly became apparent that the park was not being given a facelift, but a full body makeover. Phil Dorian, the landscape architect working hand in glove with Brambledown project engineer Keith Rattray, have created a unique blend of traditional and modern attractions of which Sunderland folk can be proud. The lake, which had become unsightly and semi-stagnant, was drained and the bottom repaired. The island was tidied up and given a smart new boundary wall. The most notable feature, however, is the new elegant serpentine bridge which crosses the lake midway and gives the whole area an attractive new focus. The park's much-loved Civil War cannon, the background to many thousands of family pictures, was lifted from its 100-year mount to be sent off for a badly needed refurbishment. A new lower mount was built, and the iconic gun was treated with a protective resin and repainted. Now it again stands sentinel, overlooking the bandstand on the eastern end of the park. Replicas of the original three bridges crossing the stream in the bandstand area were completed by late summer, and a novelty twisty bridge was constructed over the stream near Ettrick Grove. Once again, nature took a hand in the proceedings by halting work for weeks on end during the dreadful winter of 2010 and 11. It was not until well into 2011 that catch-up work was possible. The bandstand was restored to its former splendour and the amphitheatre fabric repaired. The main roads were the last to be reinstated with smart pin curbs and a smooth super tarmac. A massive thinning out of trees and bushes has created new attractive sightlines across the park, giving much more openness and light. Public interest was at its height as the opening of May the 21st, 2011 drew near. Young and old alike have been buzzing with anticipation about getting back their beloved Barnes Park. They were not to be disappointed. The great day came and everyone was astonished to see huge crowds gathering for the noonday opening. A cavalry charge of children made straight for the adventure playground as parents and adults began their survey of the new attractions. Opening speeches were made and the refurbished bandstand was christened.
I think it's great. I've been coming to Barnes Park since I was 11 years old, and it did die off quite a bit. When it's really, as is the most, to be honest, it's the most people I've ever seen in Barnes Park in my life.
The play areas for the kids are very good as well.
Just to actually see the park finished after 5 years of work, when we first started the bid back in 2006 to the Heritage Lottery Fund, working with the Friends group, and finally seeing the park opened on the 21st of May this year, 2011. Hundreds of children and families enjoying the park really made this long project worthwhile.
Barnes Park was a park that we all enjoyed working in, and I think all my lads would say the same thing. They enjoyed their work here. The thing that particularly liked working on was the features around the lake and the bridge, which was something completely different to any of the other parks we'd worked on.
Barnes Park is one of those places that I think is very special. Personally, I have an affinity with the park because it was where I walked through to go to Bede's school when I was a schoolboy. It was a fabulous project that was really well put together with lots of different elements, and the training and the cafe just sort of it made it absolutely wonderful.
For me, you can design things, put it on paper, but actually seeing it there on the ground, it's a fantastic achievement, really. So I'm really pleased.
If we were to attribute human characteristics to this city park, we would say it had a smile on its face, and after so long in the doldrums it was beaming with satisfaction and fulfilling its purpose in life, that and giving enormous pleasure to the citizens of Sunderland. Today Barnes Park is again enjoying massive popularity. Sunderland folk have taken it to their hearts, and it has added much needed lustre to the city. It is a credit to all who have made it possible. Subscribe to our channel and we'll let you know when there's a new video to watch. The subscribe button is below the video next to the like, share and comment icons. To watch another video, just click on one of the pictures above the arrows now.